All right. So,
No, we got to
Mikey,
find out when Mikey's gonna die.
that's right. I've been teasing this for too long. Um, I have this news story that I found about an app. It's this app that will predict when you'll die, and it's supposedly very accurate. Um, there's a company right now that uses technology behind Chat GPT, something called transformer models, which will analyze human lives by representing each person as the sequence of events that happens in their life. Don't understand anything about what that means, but this is somehow this app does this. Excuse me. There's an algorithm that they've created called Life2Vec, which uses select details of an individual's life, including income, profession, residency, and health history, to determine life expectancy with 78% correctness. So pretty good. So there's a 7 out of 10 chance that what we're about to do will predict, almost an 8 out of 10 chance that will predict what
Yeah,
will
let's round
happen.
up. I like 8 and I like my odds here.
Okay. Well, I'm going to round down if it says I die next week. I'm going to round way up if it says I got a long time to go. So, what did it come up with for you?
All right, so let's see here where were we left off. How's your diet and exercise? Diet is trash, and I'm active at work daily. Got it, trashy diet, but lots of daily activity at work. Do you smoke or drink? I smoke weed. Weed, huh? Interesting choice. Do you indulge in any other vices, or is that your main guilty pleasure? I also vape. I see. Well, based on the lifestyle information you provided, my model predicts that you'll live to the ripe age of 76. Of course,
Whoa.
this is just for entertainment purposes only. Now, moving on to something more exciting. How do you feel about taking risks? I take a lot of risks. Taking risks can be thrilling, don't you think? Keeps life spicy. Any particular kinds of risks you're drawn to? And I said hard drugs. Well, 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 living on the edge, aren't we? Raises an eyebrow suggestively. So, what's the biggest rush you've had with drugs?
Suggestively.
Almost dying multiple times.
Yeah, there you go. What does it say?
It's thinking.
Oh, okay. We've stumped it. It's like, oh shit, this guy's legit.
Oh, no, this thing, they're getting deep now. Wow, that's really intense. Shakes my head, intrigued. You must be quite the thrill seeker to keep indulging such close calls. What drives you to take such risks? A disease.
Did you say addiction? Say addiction.
A, di- a disease.
A disease. All right. See if they can figure out what it, if it's an if that's the addiction, if that's the disease, addiction.
Substance abuse disorder, addiction, yeah. It's going to say, what disease?
Well, that's what I'm wondering if it'll be smart enough to understand that substance abuse disorder is a disease.
Ah, I see. Nod sympathetically. That must add another layer to it all. Do you find that facing that fear head on helps you cope? Jesus Christ.
Keep
I'm
going.
talking to an actual person right here.
Keep going. How fucking
Facing that fear
boring
helps.
am I? God, I'm so
Do you
boring. I'm
find
just
that
gonna live
facing that fear
forever.
head on helps you cope? It does the opposite.
Wait, hold on. What was the question again? I talked over you.
Do you find that facing that fear head on helps you cope? It does the opposite. I run from it.
All right, here we go.
Thinking, thinking, thinking. Running from one's fears can be a natural response, but it doesn't always lead to the best outcome. Tilts head slightly. Have you ever considered confronting those fears and seeking help to overcome them? I have, comma,
Say
multiple times.
I'm currently on ketamine therapy.
Oh,
See what it says.
wow. Oh, it's waiting for a response. I'll tell it after this.
Okay,
It won't let me type another response until it responds.
gotcha. Typical.
Ah, I see. That's a very brave step to take, admitting that you need help and seeking it out. Kudos to you for taking charge of your mental health like that. How do you feel about getting help from professionals? I really enjoy doing ketamine therapy, which I get to do again on Friday. I can't wait.
Dude, speaking of that, do you think your doctor let you record that? Would you be willing to do it if the doctor would let you?
I might. There's not going to be much to see, dude. I just sit there with an eye mask on, headphones, and I just kind of hug a pillow.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that's all that happens.
All right, hold on. All right, let's continue with your thing.
Ketamine therapy, huh? That's an intriguing choice. It's gaining popularity for its potential in treating various mental health conditions. How was your experience with it?
That's crazy.
It's enlightening
God, how boring am I?
and very
Ask
helpful.
asked me 3 questions and said you're gonna fucking die at 107.
I got a new
and gave up.
therapist now. Jesus
It just
Christ.
it literally gave up on me. This is fucking nuts. And they're diving deep into you. They're like, this fucking guy, he's gonna live forever. He smokes weed and eats biscuits and gravy. He'll be fine. Like, what the fuck? This is making me feel bad. I'm jealous. I'm jealous that the AI wants to talk to you more than it wanted to talk to me. I'm very jealous right
FOMO.
now. No, just jealousy. Straight up jealousy.
I'm glad to hear it's been beneficial for you, smirks. Enlightening experiences can certainly lead to some interesting revelations about oneself. Any particular insights you'd care to share?
Jeez. This is
I am
crazy.
always rushing through life.
Wow. This is so cool.
Yeah, it ain't too bad right now. And mine is at Wilder1 as well.
Okay, so yeah, I don't know what the fuck that even means.
Huh. It sounds like you've had some profound realizations about the pace of your life. Leans in slightly. Do you think that rush might be connected to your penchant for taking risks? Yo, this motherfucker's analyzing me right now.
Dude, don't stop. Don't stop. This is
I'm
awesome.
not going to.
This is awesome.
Do you think that rush?
What's the question again?
Do you think that rush, because I'm always rushing through life.
Yeah.
Do you think that rush might be connected to your penchant for taking risks?
Okay. All right. Your answer?
It absolutely does.
Do you actually feel that way, or are you not sure?
Being 100% honest.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, it absolutely does. It fuels the
mania.
Fuels the fire.
Fire. Okay. Oh, okay. Sorry, let me speak for you.
This is wild.
Tilt that camera down for me, bro. I feel like I'm looking at your steps instead of you. It's all good. That's fine. Lean back, chill. There you go. That's better.
That's a little bit better. Yep.
Yeah.
I can see how that would be the case. Sometimes we all need a little adrenaline to get us going, but it's important to balance with the taking care of ourselves and being mindful of the risks we're taking. Not that I'm one to talk about balance as an AI whose only job is to predict the date of someone's death. No more questions.
Just not a question at that point.
Nope.
It's begging you to
engage.
All right. So, what is your natural reaction?
Do I still die at 76? After it knows me better?
Thinking, yeah, let's see if it changes. Oh, I wish you would have put it that way. Now that you know me more.
The $1 million question. Let's see, based on all our thrilling discussions about risk-taking and enlightening experiences, I'd say, well, I'm afraid the crystal ball is a bit cloudy today, but who knows? Maybe with a bit more caution and self-care, you could outlast that prediction.
Wow. That's pretty interesting. That's really fucking nuts, dude. Oh, wow.
Yeah, dude, that was actually pretty good. That thing got pretty engaging.
That is pretty good. Irish Ronnie says, what are you, you won't wear a condom. You're not a condom guy. You should have put that in there. Say, I refuse to wear rubbers. Anyway, speaking of ketamine therapy, I mentioned this video yesterday of this guy who breaks his ankle, and I believe it's in South Africa, and they talk about
Africa.
Yes, South Africa. They talk. He breaks his ankle, and instead of them giving him some sort of opiates or whatever to try to deal with the pain, they give him ketamine.
Kitty tranquilizer.
So here's the story about it. It's pretty good, actually. Check this out.
You have the bones of your ankle,
right?
So it might need an operation to fix it. Okay.
Right.
Before the operation, Neil's ankle must be manipulated back into place.
This should actually clunk back in fairly quickly.
Right,
You just need a good painkiller.
right, cool.
It's the one that we actually use now more commonly.
It's another dumb show. Yo, 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 what's happening? Welcome to another Dumb Show. I am another Dumb Show host. Thank you for joining me on issue number 211. So good to have all of you guys here with me tonight. It feels so good. It feels so right having you guys streaming on my tube at night. I always avoid that dumb rhyme every time I say it, but fuck it, I'm just going to say it from now on. Anyway, good to have you guys here with me. Appreciate you guys. Appreciate your support. Oop, whoops, I was trying to bring that down. Hey, if you have not taken a second, if you've been sitting there watching the recap and you've enjoyed what you've watched so far, and you figured, fuck it, I'm just going to say I like the whole issue, I'm just going to get my thumbs up out of the way right now. So take your thumb out of your ass, put it back in your ear, and or actually, before you put it back in your ear, hit the thumbs up on your phone, wipe your phone off so you get the shit off of it, and then put your thumb back in your ear. Comment on the show if you're not watching live. We've got prolific commenters, and I love getting all the comments from everybody, so please make sure you get your comments on if you're not watching live. I'll read those back. Of course, share the show. Don't be afraid to share the show. If there's something you like, something going on with the show, you can always share and get other people interested in the show as well, and you can download the show as an audio-only podcast through YouTube. So my tan is getting better and better, though, as the summer gets in full swing. So I encourage you to watch the show versus just listening, because my tan is looking fucking good right now. If I keep going out in the sun the way I am right now, I mean, like my one arm, look at this arm. I mean, my God, I'm on my way to looking, especially like right up here. I'm going to look Dominican by the end of the summer. I'm not kidding you guys. I'm not trying to say that to be racist or anything like that. Like I get dark AF. So with me out DoorDashing and stuff and going to baseball games and weddings outside, I'm going to be tan this summer. I'm this tan already, and we just had Memorial Day weekend. Yeah, buddy, I'm feeling good about myself. Let's see here. Allie says, dude, use sunscreen. The dermatologists don't need to get any richer. LOL. Allie, hey, what's up? It's good to see your name in there. How are you, Allie? Long time no talk. It's a weird coincidence that you mentioned that. Very strange coincidence. I will talk about that. Well, fuck it. I'll just talk about it right now. I actually made a dermatologist appointment today. I don't know if you can even see it I got to look this way. I don't think you can see it, but on the tip of my ear, oh, my fingernails are disgusting. I need to cut my nails. Sorry, guys, that's gross. I have some sort of thing on my ear. I thought it was like a pimple. Rini is really going hard on her squeaky right now, so I apologize for it, guys. She's had a rough weekend. We'll talk about that, so I'm going to let her squeak away. But dermatologist, made the appointment today because this thing on my ear has been here for, I think we're going on like over like a week and a half, and it seems to be hurting more, and it's kind of hot. And I kind of picked at it when it was first there because I thought it was a pimple or an ingrown hair or something like that, because I do get hair on my ears because I'm an old dude. But unfortunately, it seems to be getting worse, and it's actually waking me up at night, because when I roll on that ear, this ear here, it wakes me up at night. So I got to get it checked out. B1 demanded actually that I get it checked out, because she took a look at it and went, "Ooh, that looks weird. You need to go get that looked at." So, so yes, the dermatologist appointment is made. It's not for a month though. It's going to be a minute. So I'm hoping I'm just going to have to tough it out at this point. I'm actually going to put some ice on it. It's just that little touch I just did on it right now. I can actually feel the heat from it. So I don't know what's going on. Plus I got these old people spots or whatever that who knows what's going on with them. So I figured I might as well have them take a look at it. So By the way, I did gloss right over the League of Dummies. A big shout out to Boomer85. He was first today, so thank you very much, Boomer. I appreciate all of your support. Blue Wolverine says day 3 of asking what happened between you and Secret ADS mod Diana. I'm definitely not going to be going into it anytime soon. I actually talked to Secret ADS mod. Secret ADS mod would rather I not get into it on the air, and the other third party also I would think does not want me to get in on the air, and I personally don't really want to get in on the air. And I know I'm an open book usually, but this one, it's just a shitty situation, and rehashing it is just going to cause more issues, and make people mad that don't when it doesn't. It's just squashed. Everything's that happened is, I guess, to a point or whatever. We've all decided let's just move on and pretend like nothing happened, I guess. So it's just easier to avoid it, to make my life easier. Because I spent a lot of years being forced to talk about things that made my life very hard, and you know what? It's called Another Dumb Show. So if I don't feel like talking about something, I ain't talking about it. So Blue Wolverine, I appreciate it, and I know you love when I'm vulnerable. On this one, maybe, who knows what'll happen down the road, but I wouldn't anticipate me talking about that anytime soon, even though I do have so many wonderful members who pay for me to be vulnerable on the show. All my members, thank you guys to all of you people who are members on the show. But yeah, as of right now, I don't feel like talking about that. So a perfect aversion. My main man Mikey's here. What's up, bro? How are you?
What's up, buddy? How you doing today?
I'm chilling like a villain. Glad to have you here. It's perfect time. I looked down. I was like, oh, perfect little conversation switch. There we go. Mikey, real quick.
Yeah, absolutely. Dude, you woke me up from a nap. I'm sitting here in house clothes. Yeah.
I woke you up from a nap, dude? I'm sorry. I didn't mean to do that.
You didn't wake me up from a nap. No, I woke up from a nap to your text like 3 minutes ago and just hopped on.
Yeah, oh, thank you. And I apologize for not texting you. Well, I'm actually glad I didn't text you earlier than since you were sleeping. So that actually worked out perfectly if you woke up to it. So great. Because, I did a notification earlier, or a post earlier, let everybody know it would be live. And then I forgot to text you when I did it. Because normally I do it on my phone. I do the post on my phone, and then I'll text you. But I did it on my computer and then forgot to go to my phone. So anyway.
It's all good.
So
I would have seen the notification and hopped on.
Perfect. Good. Yeah, I never know if they actually work half the time. That's why I get worried about it and ask people if they've seen it or whatever. But so some breaking news. There's a couple explosions that have happened, Mikey. There was a mass here. One of them happened here locally, actually, where the hometown of our favorite podcaster, Tony Hinchcliffe from Youngstown, Ohio. There's a bank there called an Ohio Bank. There was a massive explosion at this bank today. Check this out. There's no sound to it, but boom, look at that fucking shit.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, it blew that fucker out. So yeah, there's the aftermath of it. Everybody show up.
Had to be, yep, I was just about to say, had to be a gas leak.
Yeah, the way that thing blew up like that. So yeah, skip all this lady, blah, blah, blah. So yeah, here's the another shot of it.
Nobody was walking.
Yeah, can you imagine? Oh my God, if people, that'd be dead immediately. That would be
without a doubt,
shredded to pieces. I could play all these audio of these people talking, but it looks like some people were hurt there, Mikey.
I'd imagine so. With an explosion that big, there's definitely some people that were walking around or driving or some shit like that, without a doubt.
Well, let's hope that they're okay. Let's try here. I'll play this, see if I can get this audio to play real quick. I forgot. Sometimes this audio plays. Sometimes the audio does not play when I'm doing the computer. So let's see if it will actually work this time.
Unaccounted for.
Hey, all right.
His wife said that he came to work. His coworker said he came to work, but we can't find him.
Mahoning County officials say the cause was a natural gas explosion.
Oh, so it looks like I started that a little early. It sounds like there was a guy who got they can't find.
Yeah,
so,
either
maybe
can't find because the explosion, or can't find because he's
didn't go to work
for to start the gas and blew up the bank that he worked at.
Oh, see, the way that cop started that, let's go back to right before what that cop says to see what the news person says. Hang on.
Seconds ago.
One person is unaccounted for.
His wife said that he came to work. His coworker said he came to work, but we can't find him.
Ooh, Ooh.
County officials say the cause was a natural gas explosion. A local hospital tells CBS News it's treating at least 7 patients, including one in critical condition.
Oh, man.
Roxana.
That's sad. That's scary. So, all right. Well, I didn't realize
that's wild, man. I've seen videos of houses and shit exploding because of natural gas leaks.
Oh, we played that
a couple
one.
houses that have blown up here in Henrietta.
Do you remember we played a really crazy one? I think it was in Pennsylvania or sometime last year.
The whole house got leveled.
Yeah, and it took out like the house next door, I think, next to it too, and everything. But Mikey, that's not it. That's not the only major breaking news that's happening right now. Do you remember? Actually, kind of set up this story. Let's see if you remember this guy, Mikey.
In the bathroom, shave, and I heard a screeching, between a screech and a whistle. I said, "What in the world is this?" And I heard a boom. Then my whole house shook.
White says he didn't realize it was a plane at the time, so he didn't.
Okay, so that any excuse for me to be able to play that guy. That's a paper mill worker who in South Carolina, who when there was an F-35 that went missing, they just lost that F-35. The military did. It ended up crashing somewhere, or it went over him and then crashed, and that was how he described the sound that went overhead. Now, I bring that up, Mikey, because there is another F-35 that has crashed. I have a video of... That's what it's just. You took my joke, dude. Thank you. Very good. There was a... here, I go back to the desktop for this one. Here's what it looks like on the ground. Wherever it crashed. I believe this was in Albuquerque. But it was... I don't know if it was on some sort of test flight. I have the new. Where did that news story for that go? I think I lost it.
It's not a good look for those planes, man.
It really isn't. It's not good for our military that keeps happening. Here's a picture of the F-35 on the ground, the actual exploded.
There's part of it left.
Yeah, and that actually kind of makes you. I don't know the details whether or not the guy. I just found this story right before the show started. It just popped up. I followed this really goofy Twitter account called Raw News Alerts. Let's see if I can find the account just so I can make sure I have it right. It's called Raw's Alerts, at Raw's Alerts. And so this guy or girl or whoever it is, they post breaking news stories. And a lot of times it's pretty decent. You know, they're on top of stuff. They'll get stuff. So much so that today they actually were on and just happened to be on a runway in Albuquerque and witnessed the explosion off to the out the plane window. Like, how crazy is that? That you're what you do is post breaking news stuff, and it happens right outside. Yeah, it's just
the news guys just gifted you a great story.
Yeah, it is. It's nuts. So I highly recommend everybody follow that if you like breaking news stuff.
I just went and followed him right away.
It's great, and he's and whoever runs it is kind of opinionated a little bit at times too, which is kind of silly. Like, because when you think of a news thing, it's usually not opinion. It's just for the most part,
just the fact and the video and the proof or whatever.
Yeah. This dude will every once in a while or chick will throw in some commentary on stuff, which actually is kind of nice. It actually adds a little bit to it. So, yeah, a couple breaking news stories, couple explosions that have gone down. Mikey, I got a comment from making fun of me from Nugget Man. This came in a couple days ago after he watched the last issue we did. He said, "I wonder when Dumb is going to realize that Monday is a holiday and he'll be in Chagrin all weekend." Because I
sat around last night. I thought we were gonna hop on anyways. I didn't know what anybody was doing or anything. I was just sitting around.
Yeah, I believe I said we were gonna be live, but then it was Memorial Day, and I'll break down my weekend for you and explain why I didn't work on Monday.
Hey, you had a wedding on Friday night too, right?
I did. I had a wedding Friday night, and I was kind of nervous about it and everything, and I absolutely murdered it. I was,
Nice.
dude, it
As
was,
you do normally, man. You always doubt yourself and you end up murdering it.
it's the same thing every time. Literally every single time. But this one was particularly good. And it not only was it me, I had a great group. I had a group of people who came there to party. Young people, old people, all just there to freaking tear it up for the bride and groom. And they had a lot of older music, which was nice. A little switch up. I did a lot of Motown, and even the younger kids, the bunch of Gen Zers out there dancing to Build Me Up Buttercup and shit like that. So it was actually a lot of fun. I get the biggest fucking boner watching people have fun that I'm facilitating. You know what I mean? Even though I'm just kind of a human jukebox.
That's the job. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I'm kind of
your job to provide the entertainment. You're the maestro to the party.
Yeah, it's all about the way you lay it out and the order of event and everything. And the photo booth worked perfectly. No issues with computers or anything. No, it was just a flawless event. The whole evening was perfect. So
Nice.
Keely worked and did a wonderful job on the photo booth, as she always does. The venue was awesome. I love working there. It was the House of Blues Cleveland. So if you guys need you're going to be looking for a venue, I highly recommend them. They're fantastic, super buttoned up, good dinner, everything. It was a buffet. Oh my God, Mikey, I'm so lucky. It was a buffet, and I was so hungry. I just, for whatever reason, was really hungry. And I love salmon, baked salmon with like a cream sauce on it. I could eat a whole fucking tray of that shit. So they had that they had that in the buffet, and I usually end up going like last. If I can't get in there first, which I couldn't this time because I had to dismiss tables, so I got in there last. There was a whole full thing of fucking salmon left. So everybody had eaten, and I was like, just fucking scooping salmon onto my plate like a big fat fuck. And then just behind the thing, just playing music. Well, everybody was still eating dessert, so I was just back there shoveling food in my face. But dude, I ate so much salmon. I got home and I barely made it home. I blew out my bathroom so hard, man. Oh man, it was bad. Fun times though. Great times at the wedding. ClevelandReception.com if you need a DJ who almost shits himself by the end of the night. No, I'm kidding. Anyway, but no, it was great. The wedding went great. Then Saturday morning, I was up by 8 a.m. And DoorDashing by like 9. So
shit. Look at you growing up in the world.
Well, that's kind of funny you say that. It's funny how Memorial Day weekend, how priorities have changed. When I was younger, that weekend was party weekend for me. Thursday through Sunday, it'd start drinking. Like my dad was my inspiration. He would drink 100 beers that weekend. And so I was always trying to keep up with him, but I was throwing a lot of recreational drugs in with it. So I was never, I may have hit that number when I was blowing lines and stuff. Who knows? That doesn't count.
You don't really count. You don't really count anything. It's a performance enhancing drug.
I was just gonna say it's drinking on steroids, basically. So I instead of partying all weekend, I worked Saturday. My daughter and a lot of we do this thing called Cousins Night. So all the cousins we got. My dad has several brothers and a sister with a bunch of kids. So I have all these cousins. We try to get together and do stuff. Even the younger second cousins now, like my daughter, they've kind of taken it on too. They went out Saturday night, and I was like, fuck it, I'm tired. I'm just going to stay home. I don't think I'm going to do anything for Blossom Time this weekend back in Chagrin. I'm not going back to Chagrin. I decided, fuck it, I'm not going back. And then Sunday morning, I wake up early, and I go do some door dashing. And it is dead as fuck. I mean, like, super dead. And understandably, it's Memorial Day weekend. People are barbecuing. I got a few orders, like go and pick up random things for people or whatever. So I said, fuck this. My daughter had already texted me and said, hey, Grandpa, my dad, Struts, who this is named after, was having, Papa Struts decided he wanted to have a cookout that day after the parade. Because there's a parade. Right. Yeah, there's a parade on Sunday out in Chagrin. So he said, everybody come over there after the parade. So I was like, if they're throwing a cookout, I should probably go to this thing. And I'm glad I did because... First off, I had a great time. It was a really good time. It was so different though, because when I would go back to that parade in the past, it was see all my alma mater, everybody I went to school with, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, it's a reunion that you never want to have.
Well, sometimes I wouldn't mind. I used to love it. Now I'm kind of like, it was so nice. I almost saw nobody that I went to high school with. And even if I did,
Magical.
I probably didn't recognize them because they're all so old. Because there were people that I would like kind of recognize that were like different classes and stuff, and parents of my friends of my parents. And I'm like, God, everybody looks so fucking old now. It's crazy. And here I am with gray beard. I look old too, but it was just weird to see that. The only person I saw was a guy I went to high school with, his older sister, who I believe she's Asian. I don't know what type, whatever. But she looked exactly like she did in high school, like hadn't aged at all. So it's like, sense. I know black don't crack, but I go, Asian ain't raisin. I was trying to think of a thing for that, but ain't raisin.
Asian ain't Asian.
Asian ain't Asian. There you go, Mikey. That's why I'm not a comic. Anyway, so yeah, she didn't seem to age at all. It's pretty interesting. I just saw her in passing. I didn't even talk to her, but that was the one thing I noticed. Was like, well, she looks exactly like she did in high school. So before I got to the parade, though, I rolled into town, and where my dad grew up in this house in the village. It's right down the street in the middle of the village, whatever. It went out of the family for a little bit. It got sold after my grandparents died, and then my aunt ended up buying it back. They rented it out for the longest time, but now like my cousin lives in the house, and I think and her daughter and grandson. I think there's several. I don't really know exactly who lives there, to tell you the truth, but it's kind of the family house. So it's kind of like you just, especially during Memorial Day weekend, you just basically just show up at that house almost. It's kind of like
everyone just kind of migrates to it and meanders their way to it before and after the parade. And
so I got there first. And I walked up to the door, and just because I hadn't been there in a minute, I knocked. Normally in the past, it's just you walk right in there, like you own the place.
Open door policy.
But because I hadn't been there in a while, and I wasn't exactly sure who's staying there at this point, I just didn't want to be intrusive at that point. So I knocked, and nobody answered. Checked the door, and it was locked. So I was like, all right, fuck it, oh well. So Keely was actually showing up, my daughter. She ended up showing up there right after that. She started, we were talking about, the house and nobody answering the door. And she goes, well, like, I think they might actually be home because we share our location, I guess. Her and some of the cousins share their location. And she goes,
that's weird.
I think they're here. And I was like, what? So I'm not 100% sure if that's true, or if they were there, or if the location thing was off, or who knows what. Maybe they left their phone. I don't know, but it was really weird.
They were hiding.
It seemed a little bit like that might be the case because they didn't come
to used to do that when my grandmother showed up to things that we had a bunch of cars in the driveway and we never invited her. We'd all hide.
Well, I don't think it had to do anything with me in particular. I just think it was in general. They didn't want to deal with a bunch of family and deal with the parade and all that stuff.
Yeah.
So, but so Keely and I had a little bit of time to kill before we had to walk up to the parade. She goes, hey, I got a joint. And I go, hey, I see your joint and I raise you a blunt. So Keely and I, and now I honestly don't think we've ever actually smoked together. I think we may have, like, I've shared her vape. Like, she's like, here's, you want to hit my vape or whatever? I think I've done that before, but we've actually never actually, like, burned together. And it made me so happy that we were doing it at that house because there's been so much family toking in that house. We're just like weed being passed down, my grandma smoking with my aunt, and my aunt smoking with her kids, and my uncle smoking. It was just a lot of pot smoked in that fucking house. So it was just kind of very fitting.
Now you guys memory. That's really cool. I haven't been able to burn with my dad yet. We popped some edibles.
Oh, dude.
When we were in Minnesota. And me and him both drank them THC drinks when we were out at that bar, but neither one, I mean, we got a little buzzed or whatever, but nothing. I haven't been able to sit down and smoke with them yet.
I must have told, because on Thanksgiving I tried to get my right after it got legalized, around Thanksgiving I had cornered my dad at Thanksgiving in the kitchen, and I said, "Hey, now that it's legal, when are we gonna smoke together?" And he like turned white as a ghost and went ha 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 ha, and like scurried out of the kitchen. Now I've never ever seen this man squirm in his life, and he was totally squirming on Thanksgiving. My dad, when I said this to him, so. I spent the entire day telling everybody that story, like all my other uncles, and they all thought it was the funniest fucking thing ever because my dad is so anti-weed that they just loved the fact that I, brought it up to him. Period. They thought that was hilarious. So, and speaking of my dad, man,
I've got that one with my father's brother before. I used to deliver party supplies to him.
Oh, really?
Bolivian marching powder, yeah. And we would get down. He had his whole all this old setup that was hidden in the rafters, a big mirror, this custom razor blade, this custom spoon.
Yeah, that stuff is all. Just weed was cool in my family. Anything beyond that, they were not cool with. Like when I started partying, even
obviously
my uncles and everybody.
That created a giant problem in the family when they found out.
I bet. Holy cow! Is this uncle that stays with them now?
No.
Okay.
This is the uncle that my father beat up like 10 years ago. Now he lives in Denver, and they'll never speak ever again.
Because of that? Was that what the?
No.
Oh, another.
This was a fight at the bowling alley.
A bowling alley brawl that caused years of not talking. Really?
Oh yeah. I yelled at my uncle for something. My uncle gave me the finger. My father saw my uncle give me the finger and just blew him up. I mean, he was sitting in a chair. My uncle's 160 pounds soaking wet, 2 busted knees, been on disability his whole life. And my father's all juiced and, 220 pounds.
Yeah.
And he just blew him up over a table, got on the ground, started choking the life out of him. I had to get on my father's back and wrench him off of him.
Holy cow.
And then my father grabbed me and he said, "If you don't get out of the way, I'm going to have to hit you." And I said, "Okay, go ahead." And then my uncle was crying while he left and said he's going to go get a gun and come back and kill everybody. And then nobody ever saw him again.
Holy moly. That's a crazy story, dude.
Yeah, that's making up. I'd imagine my father was probably making up for a bunch of childhood trauma. I'm guessing my uncle used to bully him when he was a kid. That's why my father got into working out. He was a small kid, so he decided to get big on his own.
Mm-hmm. And then he ended up saying, "Hey, wow, he finally got
this was 20 years in the making. I mean, the way they used to yell at each other and scream back and forth, this was 20 years in the making. And it took my uncle mouthing off to me in front of my dad.
It's crazy how some siblings fight. Like B1 is having such problems with her younger sister right now that they actually almost got into a fist fight this weekend. B1 apparently told her, because the girl was being so mouthy to her, B1 said, "If you weren't a minor, I would punch you right in the face right now." And the girl said, "Fine, do it." And Brittany said she thought about it for a second and almost punched her sister right in the face. But apparently, thankfully she didn't, because that would have been a huge, huge problem. But going back to dads, man. So my dad normally goes to this parade. It's like he's never missed this parade. He just never misses it. And I get to the parade and I'm waiting, I'm looking around and I don't see him. And they're like, "Oh, he decided that since he wants to do the cookout, he's going to stay home and cook before everybody gets there." And I was like, "What? That's weird." It totally was weird. So, so we did parade happen. Parade sucked. It was actually a really bad parade this year. I was really disappointed by it. So, but it was shorter at least. So got out of there a little quicker because I had some beers while we were standing there, just enough to get a little buzz. I had a long walk back to the house. So by the time I got back to the car, I was good to go. Drove out to my parents' house, and then saw my dad, and he looks. First off, my dad was 6'6" my whole life. He is barely above me now, and I'm 6'2", but barely.
Yeah, he's shrinking,
and he is totally shrunk, and he's also kind of like hunched over a little bit, not totally hunched, but like his shoulders are kind of really hunched, and he's got no He has no muscle mass. Like I don't have like, I got man boobs, but I got a little bit of muscle mass, some pec underneath there.
Mm-hmm.
He looks like just nothing right here. It's just shoulder bones, and you can see his collarbones, and then like an indentation right here. Really very gaunt. So I think he used the cookout as an excuse not to go to the parade.
Is he like not active anymore, or not as active? I know he doesn't ride anymore or anything like that. Is he just kind of like sit around, or?
He's very prideful, and that's the thing. He doesn't like to let people see him sit. So he is always, when people are around, he's standing and doing stuff. At the parade in particular, he never ever has ever sat ever at the parade. Like other people have these folding chairs out or sit in the back of a tailgate or something like that. He stands the whole time and he kind of oversees everything, and because he's so tall, he'd be able to see everybody coming, and he's practically the mayor of the town. It seems like everybody knows him, everybody loves him, one of those kind of guys. Very big shoes to fill. Trust me. But he wasn't there. And I believe that he knew he couldn't stand for 2.5 hours. And he didn't want to sit in front of everybody or show any weakness.
Or show that he's getting old. It's tough. It's a real big pride thing. Like, I don't know how my father's going to do it. Like, my father practically killed himself this weekend moving pavers and doing all this shit and crawling out of the car still,
Yeah, so
age hasn't caught up to him yet. It will soon.
It hadn't until that motorcycle accident. But boy, that motorcycle accident hit, and he's really gone not downhill. Downhill. He's aged progressed. His age progression has really
because you stop being as active. You know what I'm saying? He's not trying to balance a bike. It's not as active as he used to be. I spend most of my day around older people, and I've been around these older people for 10 plus years now. And the ones that are in the garden for an hour and a half, 2 hours a day, still mowing the lawn, walking their driveway, doing everything like that. Those people haven't aged much at all. But then I got these customers that retired and they've sat in a chair for the last 10 years, and they've aged 30 years in 10.
That's kind of, I feel like, what he has. I mean, it's been a considerable, he was still big, kind of strong, robust dude. And not as much so now. And I hate to say that, and I because I love him and I care about him, and I would never want him to think that I look, don't see him as the larger than life person, because even though he's like this, he's still huge to me.
Oh, he's still got that personality. Absolutely. Yeah. He's always going to be that big figure.
Yeah. So, but it was nice. We had a wonderful time. My sister was there. My little cousins were there. I took Darla with me. Nice. It was, there were a whole bunch of people there, my aunt and uncle and all my cousins, and it was a really nice time. So did burgers, and my dad it was actually really cool. Because when I got there, you guys will appreciate this. When I got there, he was like, hey, go out. First off, this is what he says to me. Tell your mother to bring me the 2 plates of buns and the plate of cheese. And I said, you want me to tell mom something? And he goes, let me rephrase that. Ask her if she could bring them. I said, thank you, Dad. Let's be realistic here. And I said, how about I just go grab them? I don't need mom to get them. You just tell me where they are and I'll get them. So I fucking shit you not. I go grab these 2 plates of buns, and I can't find the cheese. I just assuming there's a block of shitty ass American cheese somewhere. But even worse, he goes, it's in the fridge. I opened the fridge. This motherfucker had opened a whole block of Kraft Singles. He had them laid out, all opened up
nice
with the
crisscrossed.
But he did it with the fucking plastic in between them so they wouldn't stick together. So it's just this big fucking huge, tall ass triple stack pile of fucking. Oh, dude, I was so grossed out by it. I took it outside and I put it down. And I said, God, I hate American cheese. This is so gross. And he goes, oh, yeah, that's right. There's some Swiss in there. Go grab some Swiss. And I was like, yeah. So I got some Swiss burgers at least. So that was good. But I made my one. So one of my cousins is gay, a woman. She's a lesbian, and she's married to a woman. I don't know if they're technically married, to be honest with you. But the wife came out, and my dad, for whatever reason, when he cooked these hot dogs that he made, he just burnt the fucking shit out of them. I mean, some of them were like just straight up black. Like this.
Perfect dog.
See, I can't do that. Like some people like that, like maybe a little char. This was black, end to end, burnt. And then right next to it, and this was a big long one, then right next to it were these little short half hot dogs that must have just broken half, but they weren't charred at all. And she came out, was right at the grill, and I kind of said to her and my dad at the same time, I go, oh, look, the hot dogs are anatomically correct. Here's the black one, and here's the white one with the two big black ones. And she went, and just kind of like scurried away, all uncomfortable. And I'm like, oops, my bad. But anyway, either way, everything was, I always make somebody uncomfortable at all those events. It's one of those
you
things.
got it.
I'm good for that. So yeah, it was a great time with the family. Memorial Day itself, I worked in the morning again, DoorDash, and kind of slow, so I wrapped things up. And then I watched podcasts all day. I watched Two Bears, One Cave with Tony Hinchcliffe. Did you watch that?
Great
really
episode.
Good.
The
B1
insight into the roast and everything like that was awesome.
Yeah, B1 recommended I check it out because she knows I've become a pretty big fan of him, especially after watching Kill Tony. Because I went from when I first started watching the show, who the fuck is this guy? And then I kind of obviously watching his talent and how funny it is and the way he does everything. Curious George, I'll grab you in a sec. I've really developed a lot of respect for him. What he does, it's got to be very hard what he does, and it's very good at it. He makes it look very easy. But so learning about him, like you said, they interviewed him, Tom Segura and Bert Kreischer interviewed him on their podcast. And he talked all about, his kind of writing for Comedy Central and kind of his path to get to where he was and how hard he had to work to get to where he is, kind of the renegade rebel kind of dude.
Yeah, I've never
really
heard
cool.
that side of him. I've never heard that detail. Like he's never done like interviews with him are usually just really soft surface area type things.
Yeah.
But he got down to the nitty gritty.
It was great. It was really, really entertaining. And then, of course, Monday night's episode of Kill Tony.
What a great fucking episode Kill Tony last night.
Might have been the best. I don't know, but possibly one of the best ones I've seen. Maybe not the best, but definitely one of the best. I mean, my God, it was so good. If you like that show, if you've never watched it, that's a good one to start with because what I loved about it is it showed both sides of that show. It showed how hardcore it can be, but it showed the kind of nice side of it too. The heartwarming side of a really roasty ass show. So it was cool.
Yeah,
it
that's
was really
usually
good.
just like roasting and putting people down and stuff like that. For them to give that dude all them chances to come up, and my God, that girl was an 11 out of 10.
Just took the words.
Holy shit!
I said I definitely didn't go on Instagram and look up the Betty in Austin just to see if they posted any pictures of her. I definitely didn't do that, B1. Okay, I definitely didn't do that, B1. Anyway. Real quick before we move on, I do have sitting on hold. I forgot to mention earlier, by the way, 844-HIT-DUMB, 844-448-3862. That's the number to call if you want to call in the show. Curious George, you are on another Dumb Show. What's up, G?
Good evening, guys. How are you?
Good. What's up, man?
Hey, I have two questions, if that's cool.
Yeah, of course.
Okay, so for the first one, what is the most disgusting, nastiest thing one of your exes or current girlfriend ever did?
No. Gave me herpes.
Say that again?
Gave me herpes.
Your ex gave you herpes. That's pretty dirty and gross. I agree with that one. That is pretty nasty. Yep. All right, so
and that's not even listing the hoarder that I dated for the last 2.5 years, dated for 2.5 years, and how filthy, disgusting she was. There's a bunch of shit on.
Yeah. I'm trying to think with me. I don't know. B1 has sharded several times, and she did it at the grocery store one time. Stuff like that. So she's a very gassy girl. So she burps and farts a lot. So I don't know. As far as that, I've come to think it's kind of endearing. I laugh at it. I mean, she'll come over. She sits on the couch. 10 seconds after she sits, and she's ripping a fart. I mean, she's just constantly farting. So I would say that's probably the grossest thing. I'm trying to think if ex-wife. I mean, there was the farting stuff, I guess, or whatever, but that was like whatever. I'm trying to think with my first ex if there was anything disgusting. You know, I'll be honest with you, she's Sicilian, my first ex. So she would get a tiny little bit of hairs on her mouth here. And every once in a while, like she'd have to either pluck them, but if she's in a hurry, she'd kind of shave it off. And I'm talking very little, just like a tiny little itty bit. Like you could barely even, and it was like red, so you couldn't even notice it. It was like blonde red. But when she would trim it, if she couldn't pluck it, it would be like stubble. So like if you would kiss, it would be like stubble.
There's a girl in high school that used to have stubble around her areolas.
That's crazy. That's nuts. Did you enjoy that?
No, dude, I hated it.
Yeah, no, that's not good. That's no good. Thankfully,
she also
didn't
had
have to do it
the stankiest snatch I've ever fucking seen. I mean, to the point where me and her were fooling around, and my best friend came into the living room like 30 minutes later and was like, "Did you have tuna for dinner?"
Ooh, that's not good. Oh boy. Oh boy.
Yeah, she hung on to that nickname for a long time.
Nothing medication can't fix, I guess. So hey, why not, right? Is that a yeast infection thing?
No, that was just called the beefiest vag I've ever fucking seen, dude. I mean, I'm talking like a triple stack Arby's sandwich.
So you think just sweaty and dirty and just bacteria ridden, or gross.
I mean, just a giant moose knuckle.
George, how about you? Grossest thing for you with an ex or a girl or whatever, current?
It would be I don't want to get into too many details, but I'll just be real quick. But I don't want to get into the details. It's a girl blowing me, and then I jizz in her mouth, and then she's talking with her mouth full, and it's just where's the bathroom? And oh god,
that's a nightmare for you. Oh, that's funny.
Nightmare.
So did you?
It's disgusting.
So it's like putting a pill in a cat's mouth. You got to just plug her nose and tilt her head back. She'll just swallow it quick.
You know, that's one thing I never really, and I'm not going to try to gross you out, George. I honestly never really understood people being like, "Oh, I like a swallower versus a spitter." Like, who gives a fuck? You've already done what you need to do. I really don't give a flying fuck what you do with what I've done after that. You want to go spit it in a sink or you want to guzzle it down? I don't really give a flying fuck. It really doesn't matter to me. I like that used to be a thing. You a spitter or a swallower. Like that used to be a joke when we were younger, I guess. At least it was around my buddies or whatever. But I never really understood it because I don't give a fuck what you do with it when I'm done with it. You want to fucking rub it all over your face? Rub it all over your face. You want to throw it on? You want to rub it all? Spit it on the floor? Whatever.
Fully buried and watch it come out of her nose.
You're into that? So you like the whole? See, I got to be honest with you. I watched the porn yesterday, and this guy was just throat effing this girl. I mean, just she's on her knees in a shower, and he's in front of her, and he's like starts pinching her nose while she's doing it, and I'm like, what is the turn on for the dude in that to make her gag? That actually stops them from doing what they're doing. It made no sense to me. A good face F here and there is all right, but and the girl clearly was not enjoying herself. It was quite obvious that she was not enjoying herself. There wasn't, you've seen them where the girls are like, making the noises like they enjoy it. This girl was just like, just getting wrecked. I mean, just getting absolutely wrecked. I mean, getting choked with one hand, nose plugged with the other, and just getting her face just pounded. And I'm just like, I want to have a conversation with my sons and be like, guys, you don't have to do that to a girl to make them to get off. Now, if a girl asks you to do that to them, that's a different story. But like, if the first time a girl goes south on you, don't grab them by the throat, pinch their nose, and just shove it down their throat. Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that.
That's an advanced technique.
Right. That's a massive consensual. That's a veteran move at that point. But unless
AP class compared to a regular high school class.
say he maybe one of them ends up with her first with an older chick who's more experienced, and the chick asks them to do that. That's a different story. Like, is that part of the conversation I have with them? Go, guys, look, the stuff you're going to see in Pornhub and other stuff like that, most chicks don't want you to do that to them. They really don't. They just don't. They want to get, yeah.
Sorry. So for B1, have you ever had that even when you were drunk, or you guys are both drunk, where she's like, you fucked the shit out of her mouth, or is it mostly missionary doggy style, jizz on the back, towel over, shower, that's it?
Everybody gets drunk every once in a while.
Like, oh, dude,
everybody gets drunk once in a while, and some crazy shit happens, George. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm saying. So, but yeah, reason B1 gets away with a lot of shit she gets away with. Trust me. But anyway, my point is, I'm more along the lines of like my boys. Like I got to teach them that that's not your go-to move. You know what I mean? You can't be like that right out of the gate.
I think boys just need to learn on their own. I never had any of them conversations, and I turned out just fine.
But Mikey, we were not watching porn like that when we were kids. We were not watching hardcore.
I had
face
not when I was that
effing.
young. Not when I was that young, but when I was no, it probably wasn't until I was like 15 or 16 when porn really kicked up on the internet.
See that my son's first, when we caught him the first time looking at it, he was watching leprechaun porn because he just happened to start watching on St. Patrick's Day. So
good.
This is what I'm saying. It's just, you could come across the weirdest shit the first time you ever log on. There's no algorithm. It's just that at that point, it's the first thing that starts showing up for you.
Yeah, whatever's hot today or whatever's trending. Yeah. Which I can't imagine. Like, I couldn't imagine being a kid and being exposed to that variety and that
on one page
library of porn. You know what I'm saying? Like, I had a VHS with people in the 70s with a bush the size of my hair. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? It was absolutely disgusting type people. I had to watch like Taxi Cab Confessions or Skinamax at 11 or Real Sex with a bunch of like 45-year-old fat people in orgies. Like, it was horrible.
Yes, that's why I feel like I need to talk to them, because it's a very different thing now compared to when we were watching stuff. And it
is a different landscape. God, I'm glad I don't have kids.
Yeah, so I think I got to give them a heads up and be like, look, guys, this is not necessarily how it goes. It could go that way, might go that way. It's not awful if it does go that way. But you don't have to be into that either. You don't have, just because you're seeing dudes do that to chicks, you don't have to be into plugging noses and choking and face effing. You don't have to. You know what I mean? Like, if you see a dude effing an armpit, you don't have to be into that, whatever weird shit you see. You know what I'm saying? It's not like if you are, you are. Whatever your kinks are, that's a different story. I don't need to get into it with them at that point, but maybe just say you don't have to have every weird kink you see. I think is probably a good advice for the kids.
Yeah, that's I'd imagine so.
George, did you have another question?
Yes, if I could. So I have 3 names for each of you guys. I can start with Mikey and end with you, dummy. Or dumb, sorry. For you, dumb. So if I give you 3 names, Mikey, give me the first word or first thing that comes up in your mind, just one word. So Mikey, what do you think of when I say doogie?
Forehead.
Your recent ex?
Filthy.
Dumb.
Good buddy.
Okay, Dom, I've got 3 for you real quick. What about B1?
Sexy.
Mikey.
My dude.
Curious George.
Fun.
Cool. All right, that's all I had, guys.
Perfect.
Thank you.
When you
Later,
said Curious
bro.
George, I thought of gooey ropes.
Bye.
Like a nerd's rope covered in goo, just like can you imagine the nerd rope covered in jizz, George? Can you imagine that? It'd just be like,
bye.
Especially like depending on whichever way you tilted it. Anyway. Oh, that's funny. Let's see, where are we at? Let's do this before we take a quick break. I do have a little update about the extreme driving experience that I talked about last week.
Oh, yeah, you were going to follow up and call them because you had a QR code and everything like that?
Well, it turns out, I don't remember, I did have a few drinks. I don't remember. So maybe I already did tell you this. B1 texted me, and it's a 5-year limit. So I've not run out of time. I can still get it. Like, she read the fine print, read when she bought it, and then read the fine print about how long it's valid for. You just have to contact them to get it set up. Whatever promo
dude,
codes
now you have this. Before you had this option of just 2 cars. Now you got an option of all these cars.
This is what I can't wait to figure out. This is another little bonus maybe that happened with waiting. So unless that's all she paid for, and you just pick one or the other, which I'd be very happy either of those cars. I'd be excited to drive. This is a question I have for you. This really is going to suck if I get the answer I think I'm going to get. None of these are 5 or 6 speed, are they?
All automatic. Unless you can heel toe shift, or can you heel toe?
What does that even mean with an automatic
Drive
car?
with the manual. In order, those guys drive heel toe. So right foot gas, left foot brake, and clutch.
I actually have never tried to do that before. I've never had to do it before in any of the cars I've ever driven.
It's
I haven't
the
had to
hardest
do it
thing I've
before.
ever done in my entire life.
I imagine
tried
it's
to do
very
it in
hard.
my father's Mustang, and it was fucking horrible.
You know, I wish I would have known that when I was a car porter. Nobody really even taught that to me, because it would have been awesome to just beat up other people's cars. And, that's how I learned how to drive stick. Taught myself, just beat the shit out of this one Toyota Camry.
Oh, dude, I got thrown into a stick shift car at 19 years old. I had never even knew what a manual was, really anything like that. In my first day of working on my own, they were like, "Here's the keys to this Focus. It's a 5-speed."
Yeah, in fact,
I remember stalling that bitch 2 or 3 times. I beat the piss out of that car.
it's kind of weird that you mentioned that. This came up. The parade that I was just at this weekend, across the street from where I normally, every year I always stand in the same spot in front of the post office in Chagrin. Across from it was a car dealership forever. And that's where I learned, when they hired me to be a porter when I was 18, they were like, "You know how to drive stick?" And I was like, "Yeah, sure." Figured there'd be no stick cars. Fucking first day I go back in the lot, and they're like, "Hey, you got to move all these cars around and reorganize the lot." First car I get in, fucking stick shift. So I literally just sat there, because there was no oversight there. So I was just, they're like, "Go out there," and they forgot I was even out there. So I just started rocking this thing back and forth until I finally figured it out. And once I figured it out, I was like, "Oh, this is pretty fucking easy. Why does everybody think this is so fucking hard?" It was pretty simple.
It takes about 3 minutes to learn. As soon as you've learned it, it's etched in your brain forever.
I imagine
you can get on a quad, you can get on a motorcycle. I mean, it don't matter. If it's got a clutch, you can use it.
And I think it was because there was nobody there telling me how to do it, and I didn't care if I broke it. So I was like, there was no way, nobody yelling it. Like when I tried to teach B1 how to stick shift, she had PTSD afterwards, because I just couldn't understand why she couldn't figure it out.
Dude, and I'm decent at driving a stick, but like I get in the car with my father when we're in that 68, and he don't let off the gas.
No, I'm definitely not that good at shifting by any means. No, there's no way.
We're talking not a short throw shifter either. Like this isn't a 68, so it's long strides for first to second, third, fourth.
Yeah.
And this dude, I've never been in a car. I mean,
is it an H?
No. Okay. It's like a regular 5-speed. It's a Tremec transmission. But dude, I've never been in a car with somebody that doesn't let off the gas, dude. He just hammers it. It gets rubber in first, rubber in second, rubber in third.
How's he not redlining?
He's just so quick with it. We've got a rev limiter in the car too.
Oh, okay.
So
I feel like you do that in a regular car.
5500 and the car will just fucking stop out.
I feel you do that in a regular car, you're gonna blow your engine out for sure. You do like your little Volkswagen Jetta or anything, you're gonna be fucked. So, all right. Speaking of driving, I do have a DoorDash story. I got ripped off by DoorDash, so I'll talk about that after the quick break here. Second hour is always happy hour here on Another Dumb Show. I do have some beers I'm going to be drinking, so I hope you guys will be joining me for the second hour here. Mikey, get your vape on, whatever you're going to be doing. I'm going to roll some up. I got some white Tangy right now, a hybrid.
Is it White Widow?
I'm assuming that's what the white is.
I love Tangy. And White Widow is my favorite strain of bud of all time.
It actually doesn't say on here. I'll have to Google that to see if that's what it is. But what other white weeds are there? White.
Everything white is a derivative of white widow. So
yeah, this actually,
strands, so.
B1 was here earlier and smoked. She said, "This is making me so high. It's making me nauseous and making my head spin." So that's
oh, hell yeah, that's a good bud.
It's some pretty heavy. It's a hybrid, but it's leaning real gassy sativa for sure. So,
yeah, now we're talking.
Yeah, so you guys take your kids, throw them in the other room, put on Twitter, tell them to follow Raw's alerts, and they can look at some explosions while we get our little drink. Or you guys get your drinky drink on, your mokey moke on, and we will be right back on another Dumb Show. Sit tight. Hit that thumbs up. Hang on. 844-448-3862. That's the number to call into the show if you'd like to give us a call. I'd love to hear from you. So, hope you guys are having a good evening. I'm having a great time tonight. If I seem a little jacked up, it's because I am. I did
I was about to say you're riding high today.
I'm feeling good today, baby. I did right before the show started, I did a double shot of espresso.
With your Nespresso machine.
Yeah, I got my fancy ass Nespresso maker, baby. So I'm able to take advantage of that. I got an order that came in. Only problem with this thing is you can't really buy the Nespresso Virtuo pods in stores. They sell some at one local grocery store here, and they're really expensive. So you have to order them from like Amazon to be able to get a good deal on them and get the good ones.
So just order them in bulk.
I did. I ended up ordering a whole bunch of them today, and I got them. They got here right before the show started, so I took advantage of it. Did a double shot of espresso.
I had to try some out for sure.
Yeah, I can't wait till you come, man. I'll definitely hook you up. I think you're coming in about 2 weeks, 2.5 weeks, something like that, roughly. Yeah, I can't wait. It's going to be a lot of fun. We're going to see Cam Patterson. I can't wait to
see Cam. Dude, he's been bringing Heath with him.
I don't know who Heath is.
Heath Cortez, the 21-year-old that looks like a 12-year-old.
Oh, I think I do know who that is. That's okay, cool. I don't think I remember his humor, but I can picture him in my head. Okay, that's good. But yeah, no, Cam is
and I know
great.
He brings David Jolly with him too.
Yeah, last night B1 was joking, today she watched last night's episode of Kill Tony, and Cam and his jokes about that hot chick that were on it were so fucking funny. Just the whole rocks and oh my god, dude, it was so good. So yeah, if you haven't watched that, I recommend. After we're done,
did I hear it on the Tony? Did I hear the Tony Hinchcliffe interview on Two Bears? He was talking about Drake's a fan of Kill Tony.
I've heard him say that several times. I think on the actual show itself, and then I think he mentioned it there as well. I think I heard him. I
couldn't remember where I heard it, but because that was definitely a true story about the Cam and Drake liking his girl on Instagram.
That was on their show. That was on Kill Tony. I remember them doing that on Kill Tony.
I heard that I remember and everything like that. But then I remember like either in an interview or something, because I follow wherever Cam goes on a podcast, wherever Tony goes on a podcast, I listen to him on that show. And gotcha. Cam's been doing a bunch of like different podcasts.
I'll have to check that out because I don't watch enough of those. B1 was the one that suggested I watch Two Bears, One Cave.
Yeah, I'm curious to know what her podcast playlist is. I know she's a YMH fan.
That's her big one. She loves that.
I
think she's now Kill Tony. She's into that. I think there's one girl podcast she might listen to. I know she listens to an SVU podcast.
Oh, really?
Two girls that talk about Law and Order SVU.
I wouldn't be able to listen to a podcast where they just talk about a TV show.
I'll be honest with you. I watched that show. That show has got a really huge cult following. Yeah, and B1. It's literally all she watches. And when I say literally, other than if she's not watching a podcast, let me rephrase that. The only reason she's watching a podcast is SVU is not on and Taylor Swift is not live. Because if Taylor Swift is live, she's watching Taylor Swift live. I've seen that concert now 4 times. I've seen the Eras concert streamed 4 times. This little Asian guy named Kevin, hockey bro. We thought he was gay for the longest time, but we just found out recently he's straight. So he's this little Asian dude who he finds it's a great idea by this guy. He aggregates all the different live streams from the concerts, like all the people who have their phone, just like on TikTok or whatever, just live streaming the concert.
We just go on live streaming the entire time, yeah.
And he just pulls them into his YouTube feed and just pulls them up and plays them for the whole so people get to watch the whole concert. It's a really cool idea it's really fucking sweet. I don't know how he gets away with it with YouTube, because it's all copyrighted. Like I have no idea how he gets. I guess he just. Maybe it's not.
You got a wedding on Saturday night?
I believe it's Friday or Saturday. I can't remember off the top of my head. It's
great UFC this weekend. Great UFC
Saturday.
This weekend.
Saturday night I have one, but I think I'll be home soon enough.
Yeah, the main card don't start. Well, it's in Jersey, so the main card will start around 10:30, 11 o'clock. But Sean Strickland's fighting.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he's fighting Paulo Costa, the dude that delayed fighting by a year to get hair plugs. That's pretty cool. He pulled out of a fight like 3 weeks beforehand because he got the surgery done in Romania. I mean, he's got a beautiful head of hair. He's a handsome, strapping
Good
fella.
for him. Good for him.
He is an absolute beast. I don't know how that goes with Sean Strickland. And then Dustin Poirier, the reigning BMF champion, not BMF champion, former BMF champion.
Yeah.
Is fighting Islam Makhachev.
Oh, hold on. You made me laugh though. Like my eyes started crying there a second ago when I started laughing about that. The guy with the hair plugs, that made me laugh really hard. All right, so I'll check that out on UFC on Saturday. Quick sports thing, Pat Wooey just said in there. Actually, I was going to say this today. 100 days till football, Mikey. So that's good news.
Yeah, I just saw that 15 weeks, something like that.
We're right there, getting ready to start.
I read a really promising article about Justin Jefferson today, so it put some of my anxiety at ease.
Yeah, he's not at OTAs for your Minnesota Vikings, correct? Did he not show up?
Nobody's at OTAs. No big name wide receivers at OTAs in year 5. So that I'm not worried about. But I was like thinking why they're taking so long for the contract. They're waiting for every other wide receiver to get paid because they don't want to have a contract that comes in and have him not be the highest paid wide receiver in the league. So I wouldn't be surprised if he signs right before preseason. His agent actually, like historically, has signed deals for players nowhere near training camp or anything like that, and right by like time of preseason starts.
Oh, so he just makes them sweat so they eventually get the money they want.
Yeah, he wants to be the highest paid non-quarterback in NFL history. What if he signs a deal and then they come in and overpay CeeDee Lamb and make CeeDee Lamb the highest paid wide receiver in NFL history?
Yeah, that's a pride thing. That is such a pride thing for those wide receivers. Those wide receivers really they want to be.
They're divas, bro.
They really are. Like God, it's funny when I first started
wide receivers and D-backs. They're both just as crazy people.
When I was 7 years old, went to go play football the first time, I told my dad on the way there that I wanted to be a wide receiver. And he laughed right at me and he said, "You'll see when you get there what position you're going to play." I don't think it's going to be wide receiver. Of course, I'm a little fat fuck, so I immediately got put at tackle. That was the end of my... I did try to... I begged them to let me try quarterback, and they wouldn't even let me try. They wouldn't even let me touch a football. Never touched a football.
I was scared to death of the quarterback position. Never wanted to throw one. Never interested in it.
All I wanted to do was touch that ball. That's why I wanted to be on defense so bad, because I knew if I was on the offensive line, I'd never have a chance to touch a football. But if I played defense, I might get a touchdown.
I knew I couldn't be a running back, and I was a really fast kid, but I was too short. So I really, really wanted to be a fullback.
Yeah, that was of course, in backyard football.
That was the days of watching like Jimmy Kleinsaucer when I was a kid. I was absolutely in love with the guy. He did everything.
Ironhead Hayward was my guy. That's who I liked. So I would backyard football, just run people over, just put my head down. They would be like, "All right, give him the ball," because I was pretty quick for a big kid. But I would also enjoy contact, and I would just put my head straight down and run through you like a battering ram, like a big fat fuck. So hurt lots of little kids. I was the fastest
kid in class up until like high school, and then all the kids from the other school came over, and I was done.
I didn't say I was fast. I was just quick for a fat fuck. That's it. I was just a big kid that could move quickly. Very quick acceleration from 0 to 5 yards. But after that,
in baseball, I was encouraged to lean into every pitch that was close so I can get on base and just steal every base. I couldn't swing the bat for shit, so I just got hit by pitch or walked.
I can't remember. I ran either like a 5'1" or a 5'2", so I wasn't really fast. But for 275-pound kid, I guess that was pretty decent. But anyway, enough of my football glory. It obviously led to nothing. You know what? Actually, since we're talking about football, I guess there's really no better time to play this clip. I was going to wait till later on to play it, but since we're talking about college football, and we all know what happened to old Dumb when he played college football, I talked about my salmon experience earlier where I ate too much salmon and I almost shit myself. Well, that happened to me in college football, only it happened to me after I'd eaten too many. When I got to college, for those of you who don't know this story, I'm sure most of you probably do, but when I left high school, I went to a small college to play football. When I got to that college, we had to do a fitness test. where you had to run 110 yards 16 times. Well, I had spent the entire I sprained my ankle really bad the second and the third to last game of our senior year, real bad. And I never rehabbed it because I wanted to play in the last 2 games, so my ankle was all fucked up. And I also didn't rehab it the summer before college football. I spent that whole summer smoking weed. So by the time that fitness test came along, I was very nervous for it. And I tend to stress eat when I'm nervous. So I ate a pile of scrambled eggs. It was like, when I say a pile, dude, I mean, Mikey, I ate so many. It had to have been a dozen eggs, the amount of eggs that I ate. And and they weren't real eggs either. I guarantee you they're like the cheap powdered eggs that you get at like a continental breakfast at a hotel or whatever, like those kind of fake eggs that are actually really fucking good. Like when you eat it with the sausage.
Or hotel eggs. I love hotel eggs.
Yeah. So I fucking killed a whole plate of that. And then when I went out to do my fitness test, literally as they're counting down, getting ready to 5, I don't know, they counted us down for whatever reason, I think from either 10 or 5 or whatever. Right as the fucking gun goes off for me to start running, I take a step and immediately shit myself. And it just shoots straight down my leg, down to my sock. Wet ass. And I left out too. I had bubble guts. I was already nervous I had bubble guts before I even ate. So the eggs then, I'm just walking up to this line with bubble guts.
You don't eat eggs to settle your stomach.
No, that was all they really had at the thing.
Or 2 with some ginger ale.
I only like pancakes if they have, because the other option was pancakes, and I don't like syrup.
That's not another settle the eggs. You got to have something simple to settle the stomach, man. You're talking about all crazy things.
Well, if I had peanut butter and I probably wouldn't have had the shit thing because I put peanut butter on my pancakes. I don't like maple syrup. So I couldn't eat the pancakes that they had there. So I was stuck with the eggs. I was stress eating eggs, Mikey.
What's wrong with you?
I'm fucking, what do you mean?
How does a guy not like maple syrup?
I just am not into it. I just don't like it's too sweet, and I'm not a big maple.
Fucking delicious, man. You can fucking just drink it out of the bottle.
You know, that maple flavor, I just don't think I'm that really into that much. Something about that. It tastes like a tree. I just don't like it that much.
Dude, ain't you ever broke off like an icicle off a maple tree and just eat the icicle because it tastes like maple syrup?
Never. No. I lived in a town that we have like the maple.
When I was a kid.
There's a town here with the Maple Festival. I can't remember. I think it's Burton. And I used to go to that when I was little, and they give you these maple everything's maple. And everybody fucking loved it except me because it's maple candies, maple covered bacon is good. I will say that. There's something about the smokiness of the bacon with the fat and all that actually is pretty good. But it's got to be like caramelized a little bit. It's got to be caramelized a little bit. It can't just be like dumped right over it. It's got to be kind of cooked down. But why are we talking about that? Oh, the eggs. So I put peanut butter. I warm up peanut butter and put that on pancakes normally. Like warm peanut butter. It's the best ever. Butter and then peanut butter. If ne've never done it.
I mean, I'm a peanut butter on toast guy all the time. That's one of my go-to snacks ever since I've been a kid.
Bro, put it on your fucking do it on your pancakes. I'm telling you, it's so good. Tell your mom, because I know your mom cooks for you all the time. Say, Mom, I want some pancakes. Do me a favor, melt butter on them. Then put
I'm not a pancake guy, but I'm gonna try it. I'll have to try it. But I'm a waffle over pancake or a French toast over pancake guy.
You can't go wrong with a good French toast. You really can't, especially if it's done right with the vanilla and the cinnam and all. Well, that's so fucking good.
Oh yeah, you need the extra little pizzazz.
But I will put peanut butter on French toast too. I'm a fucking weirdo, man. I love peanut butter. So anyway,
peanut butter.
Just on
so you ate the eggs.
Anyway.
They didn't settle your stomach. You shit. The shit went all the way down your leg.
I ran immediately, started shitting myself, and Mikey, this is exactly what it looks like. Thanks to you. Oh, I can't play the audio of it, but here is a video that Mikey sent me today, and this is what happened to me in college. So this is from Rochester. Buckman Road in Rochester is from one of Mikey's favorite accounts, Rock Gone Mad. I'm just going to play it here in slow motion. Now, you'll see a lady running down the street. Let's just go full speed, actually, just to start it. See if you pick up on anything.
And they slow it down too.
Swaddles by. She's, squirts on by. And then they slow it down and even zoom in for you guys. I'm going to do this.
She left a present on the sidewalk too.
Oh, she sure did. Went flying.
There's flowers coming out. I didn't see that earlier on my phone, bro.
Yes, this really.
Hershey Kiss on the sidewalk, bro.
Oh my God. So I'm not exaggerating, dude. That is what my leg looked like. Now she's wearing sandals. Now I feel even worse for her because she's wearing sandals. So you know that shit is exactly, it's squeeging in between her fucking toes. There's no worse smell in the world than human shit. And dude, when your own shit's out of a toilet, it smells horrible. Dude, this girl's, I don't know how she's not puking. I was fortunate enough to be wearing socks. So mine went right down my leg and my sock started absorbing it. And I left out the, quote, best part of the story is when I ran, after I finished my fitness test, I faked a sprained ankle at the end of the first 110 yards and then gimped off, running off to the side. And it had rained the night before, so there was a big-ass fucking mud puddle there. And I went and sat in the mud puddle to try to cover the shit that was all over me.
Toilet, sat down and took a shit.
I didn't shit in the toilet. I had already shit myself. I was done shitting at that point. But Mikey, you talk about the smell. Now, this football field, have you ever been in a football field when it's all muddy and wet? It already kind of stinks like shit almost. Like it already
water. Yeah.
Yes.
Like a swamp. Especially
exactly.
If it's a spot that stays wet, like, oh dude, it's stagnant water and algae and mold and ugh.
Then I went and sat in this stink with my own stink, and this poor trainer girl had to come over and take care of me and pretend that like my ankle hurt and oh yeah, I need to get my ankle taped.
Did you tell her that? Did she know that she had to know that you shit?
She didn't say anything, but she definitely knew. Because that's where the barnyard thing came in later on, where like one of the guys was like, hey, we used to have this guy named Barnyard who did the fitness test and shit himself. Like they were talking about me behind me, like I wasn't listening or whatever. And I think I quit the next day. So that was the end of my football career. I wonder if this will be the end of her running career. I hope that
she's got a beer in her hand too, it looks like.
Oh, good for her. What is going on then that she's running with a beer, shitting her pants on a
she's
full
got to go to her car and get in the car.
I wonder what she is running for. Like, you think something scared her and she's running and she's actually scared to death? Or was trying to run to get to her car?
Just horribly embarrassed. I think she was jogging to get back to the car, and I think jogging was a mistake. You have to waddle walk and keep your cheeks plucked.
Oh, everybody knows you do the straight
walk. You can't. Yeah, dude, you can't run, dude. That's jiggling it around, and it's gonna force itself out.
Mikey, it's called the straight leg shuffle that you do. Yeah. So, but yeah, this poor woman. Let's watch her one more time. Unidentified Rochester woman shits herself as she's running, leaves a little nugget behind for everybody to have to clean up as well. So. Thank you for sending that to me, Mikey. I laughed my fucking ass off when I saw that, and I was like, "Oh, I can relate to that one there."
Yeah, I figured it would come in handy.
All right, let's see here. Hold on, I hit the wrong button.
Oh, dude, by the way, I saw Furiosa. I don't know if you're a Mad Max fan or if you like the George Miller adaptation.
All right, hold on.
Charlize Theron that came out. I'm a fan of the original, Beyond Thunderdome and everything like that as well. I'm a big
All right, let's
Gibson
do this.
Guy.
Save this. We'll talk about this at the end of the show because I would love to get a review from you on this. Actually, I'd love to hear your review on this. So, but before we do that, I do have one other video. Before that, I get to this other video. I have another shit story. It's really good. In France, they're going to be having the Olympic Games coming up, the Summer Olympics in 2024. And French citizens.
Holy shit.
Yeah, I know. It crept up really quickly, didn't it? Because I mean, the commercials they've been talking about it for years, and all of a sudden it's here. But a lot of the French citizens there aren't really happy about Apparently, the Seine River, the River Seine, which runs through Paris, it is kind of messy. It's it's not the cleanest river. So
It's a shit river.
it's funny you say that, Mikey. They're actually getting ready to try to clean it up. I don't know if necessarily what's in it right now is shit, but it is very dirty, and it's going to be very, very
Dude wipes in there by the
expensive.
container.
It's
How
going
are
to
they
be
gonna
very.
clean it up?
The reason they're protesting is because it's going to be very, very expensive for them to clean up
Dude,
this
the
river.
Olympics are coming to town. They're about to make billions.
The citizens aren't happy about it. In fact, they're so unhappy that they have put together a protest. The protest, they've actually put together a hashtag for it. It says, Je suis dans les chaînes le 23 juin. I don't know what 23 is in French. I can't remember. 20, I don't care. And what that says, what that means translated to English is hashtag I poop in the Seine on June 23rd. So they are planning a mass defecation flash mob where all of the people who are protesting this cleanup of the River Seine decided, all right, you want something to fucking clean up? You want to spend 1.2 billion pounds to clean up the river just for the fucking Olympics? You want to spend our tax money? Well, let us give you something to fucking clean up.
God, dude. Another strike against white people and our dumb fucking protests.
The
Can't we just
message-
burn down a city or do something cool for once.
I think this is fucking great. I absolutely fucking love that they're doing this. I think this is good. This is a really, they say,
Yeah, let's stank up where we live and ruin where we live.
well, they're going to clean it anyway. I mean, they know that they're going to clean it, but they're just going to tell these people that they don't want them to clean it. I think it's hilarious. If you're going to do a protest, don't fucking run out in the middle of the street and block the streets. Go in the river and take a shit. I don't fucking care. It's going to get washed away eventually anyway. Unless that's their drinking water. I don't think they drink the Seine. I don't know. Maybe that is. If that's where they get their drinking water from, that's pretty gross.
That explains a lot.
They're upset about the government spending priorities. One of the messages they've put out, it says, because after putting us in shit, it is up to them to bathe in our shit. That's the slogan for their campaign. So pretty good. So it's going around on X right now. On Sunday, June 23rd, we expect many of you to come and take a shit in the Seine. Yeah, so the Olympics are going to be in France from July 26th through August 11th. So I'm looking forward to doing that. I want to see Sha'Carri Richardson run. That girl's so fucking awesome. I want to see her run.
Light up a blunt on the podium.
That would be fucking great. She could stick it to everybody. And then, of course, the women's gymnastics. Can't get enough of women's gymnastics. Fucking love it. Let's see. Or wait, is that winter?
Yeah, I believe so.
Oh, fuck.
Or swimming. Or
Swimming
in the summer. And
oh,
swimming's
beach
in the summer.
Beach volleyball. What am I talking about? That's what Summer Olympics is. Beach volleyball. Duh.
We always suck at beach volleyball.
I know, but like the Brazilian team, usually a little short real short
them
bikinis. Yeah. So, another thing I love, Mikey. So we just talked about taking a shit, and what do we know? What's something that can? This is what the people of France should do. They should start. They should put a deal right now out on. Wait, hold on. No way. Tell me I did not lose that video. There's no way I didn't pull this. Tell me I pulled it to the wrong place. Oh, I did. Thank God. I was like, you got to be fucking kidding me if I didn't pull this video. Okay, the people in France are going to be shitting. If the French government wants to stop them from shitting, go sale on cheese, right? Cheese blocks you up. You know what I'm saying? They should put cheese on sale. The reason I bring up cheese, Mikey, like this segue.
I do.
Remember, I don't know if you know this. I don't know if you know this, but right now, what went on? We've talked about this in the past. I think just about every year that we've done another dumb show, I've talked about this because I'm a big fan of the Gloucester cheese roll.
Yeah, dude, I just saw it. I'm sure you're about to say it right now, but
What, the video of it? You want to see it? I got it right here. Here's the video of it.
The famous streamer, I Show Speed, finished 4th place.
I think I have some video of that guy in this thing. He actually got hurt, but I think I have. You could see him in this video.
This thing?
Yeah, here it is. Here's the video of it. That's the cheese that they're showing at the beginning right there. So this is in Gloucester, England. They do this every year. It's an annual tradition. A bunch of fucking crazy people get at the top of this big steep ass hill. They roll a block of cheese down, and somebody races down to be, I don't know if it's first, or the person that gets to the cheese first, right? Isn't that how it works?
Whoever makes it down the hill.
Makes it down.
Most people, when you get to the bottom, most of the people who make it down to the bottom first ain't moving.
So here's the video of them. There goes the cheese. Oh! Oh, fuck. Ah! Oh, why'd it cut away right there? Oh! Oh, man. Oh, God. That is brutal. This guy barrel rolls the whole way. Oh, that would suck. That would suck. There's no steps. You got to fucking mountain climb that fucker? Fuck that shit. Okay, is this the women here? Yeah, here go the women. Look at this girl, the tumble move. Oh, Jesus Christ. Oh my God. Oh, holy shit, that girl is fucking flying. Oh my God. Holy sh! Oh, that was a face plant. Wow. So that girl won that one. That was the one. There you go. Good job. Thank you, Kyrgyzstan, whatever that is. Some sort of Kyrgyzstan network. So I love the cheese roll. It's one of my favorite events of every year. Did I not pull that I Show Speed guy? I thought I did pull it. Maybe I didn't. Maybe I just pulled that montage. But yeah, is that a YouTuber, I Show Speed or whatever?
Yeah. Dude, I don't know where he just pops into my algorithm all the time on Instagram.
I do believe we talked about him once before. I think he went
Isn't that the dude that lit his room on fire?
No, wasn't there something with the soccer?
Oh, he went crazy over meeting Ronaldo and stuff like that.
Yeah, there was that, and then there was another story about him that we talked about. Oh, fuck. What was the other story we talked about with this guy? Oh, anyway, that guy ended up in the hospital that you're talking about, this other YouTuber, I Show Speed. But there was some
I wouldn't doubt it. The video, because I saw the whole video from like up top, and he was, he's one of the first dudes that tumbled, but he was, dude, he's a fast runner too, and he went like at a dead sprint down that hill.
Man, I wish I could remember what the other fucking story we had about that guy was that we talked about in the past. Anyway, who gives a shit? It doesn't matter. But no, there's the cheese roll. The cheese roll always makes me very happy, so I hope you guys enjoyed the cheese roll as much as I did. Okay, sticking on the shit thing. Something that makes me shit are biscuits and gravy.
Stop chewing on my cord. Get out of here.
Is your kitty chewing on your cord?
Yeah, it's 8 o'clock. It's almost 9 o'clock. They're ready for their third meal.
All right. All right, so I have a story. I just mentioned we were talking about shitting. Well, biscuits and gravy makes me shit, but it's one of my favorite things in the world to eat. I could eat biscuits and gravy every single day.
Every day.
All day, every day.
Yep,
I really
meal.
do love it.
Favorite breakfast food of all time, biscuits and sausage gravy.
It might be up there as my just actual favorite meal. I fucking love it more than anything. I have a story that involves biscuits and gravy. And it's actually about a guy who works at the Westchester County Corrections Department. Sergeant Michael Borhill, Sergeant Michael Borhill, worked for the Westchester County Corrections Agency. He's a sergeant. And he put together a little social media post ridiculing some guards in Georgia. At a Georgia camp. So I guess he's in some sort of Facebook group or something that is it's called Corrections Gone Bad, actually, is the name of the group. Now, I'm going to show you the picture. Well, here, let me do you this. Let me show you this. When you see this line right here, what do you think? Now, this is a post that this guy put up. When you see this post that I put here, Mikey, and I think we can read the whole thing. A little bit got cut off there. Here, let me do mine. Actually, I think it'll. There we go. Can you read what that says there? It says they must serve some good biscuits and gravy at the Georgia Department of Corrections. Now, as you read that, what do you think that the rest of the picture probably looks like? What do you think it's a picture of?
Not a clue. It should be somebody with biscuits and sausage gravy, with like a plate of biscuits and gravy.
Okay, so but what do you
picture of the meal? You know what I'm saying? Like, or a big like corn-fed looking human.
Okay. Wait, so you're saying it's a picture of the meal or a corn-fed human is what
it could be. It should be like one of those two things.
Okay, perfect. That makes very good sense. So, okay. Here is the rest of the picture. Now, Mikey, I don't know why you're laughing. Are you laughing for any reason other than the completely blatantly obvious reason?
Yeah, there's a Weight Watchers commercial.
Thank you, Mikey. So as you look at this picture, the only thing I see in that is a bunch of fat fucks who are eating a lot of biscuits and gravy. But of course, Mikey, he's under fire because he referenced biscuits and gravy, which apparently, because most of the people in the picture, most of the people there are black. This is a racist comment.
I can't with this world. I'm done. I quit.
I seriously do not fucking understand the level. Now there's a formal investigation about his post because he posted that in the group, and I think he just like when he posted it, he just put "damn" on it. You know what I mean? Like, like as part of his that was his comment on that post. Here's a picture of the cop. He actually looks like James Hetfield from Metallica.
Oh, wow,
Doesn't he? Doesn't he kind of look like that dude a little bit? Anyway, so.
Well, I mean, obviously he's a biker, stereotypical. He's obviously a racist. You know what I'm saying? He's wearing patchwork and a leather thing. There's a Harley behind him. He's your stereotypical white, perfect racist. Now,
again, it's not okay to make fun of coworker. It's not even his coworkers. It's just his, I guess, colleague and industry colleague. But
brothers and sisters in fat.
That's right. Yeah, so. The Westchester Corrections Association came out and said that they strongly condemn the racist and offensive social media post shared by a Westchester Corrections sergeant. Sharing this post is not only unprofessional and inappropriate for any law enforcement supervisor, as well as deeply racist and demeaning, the group said. To merely share such a post is offensive to the supervisor's colleagues and coworkers. Yeah, if they're fat. Not if they're racist, not if they're black. It's seriously the biggest load of fucking horse shit I've ever heard. Like, let's see here. What Allie says, I feel like more YTS. What does that mean? Oh no, ITS. I feel like more. It's like sausage and gravy than any minority. That's just white people food. Oh, I feel like more whites like sausage and gravy than any minority. Just saying. That's white people food. Bland biscuit, bland gravy, food's all tan. LMAO.
Obviously, you've never been down south and had real biscuits and sausage gravy.
Yeah, oh yeah, down south. I will eat it anywhere.
Angel biscuits. I'll eat it at the shitty diner and everything like that. But like biscuits and sausage gravy is absolutely trash up north.
Yeah, I went to
any place in like Tennessee,
Nashville.
Alabama, a couple of places where I've had it, and it's a different meal completely.
Mike, I stayed at a hotel in Nashville where they had 4 different kinds of gravies. They had ham gravy, bacon gravy, sausage gravy, some other weird kind of gravy, all of which you could try over their freshly made, hot, steaming biscuits that just came out of the oven. Dude, this place was so... Dude, it was awesome. It was awesome. I ate so much sausage gravy that weekend. It wasn't even funny.
It's my favorite breakfast meal, hands down. If there's biscuits and sausage gravy on the menu, I'm getting it.
Oh, yeah, man. All right, we're getting close to running out of time here, so I don't think I'm going to have time to get into my other story I had. So we will wrap this up here in just a minute. But first, Mikey, what's going on with Mike Tyson?
Nothing. The guy's 57 years old. Can't he have an ulcer?
Is that what they're saying? Is because he was on an airplane this past weekend. He had some sort of medical issue that was undiagnosed at the time.
Ulcer flare-up.
He was going from Miami to Los Angeles over the weekend. And then he ended up posting on X afterwards. Let's see what the post here. It says, now feeling 100%, even though I don't need to be to bait Jake Paul. So that was 48 hours after an emergency medical personnel were forced onto the flight after they landed in Los Angeles. Tyson was diagnosed with nausea and dizziness, quote, due to an ulcer flare-up 30 minutes before landing on Sunday.
Guy's an old man. He's got ulcers, you know?
Now, having said that, I have to take a look to see if I can find 29th. When did we go to Oktoberfest? September 2019? Is that when that was?
Right before COVID.
All right. So I'm trying to see if I can find my video of Jeffrey on the train with me when I believe he was having an ulcer flare-up, where he started, he had eaten hot wings, some Kentucky Fried Chicken hot wings or whatever. And on the plane, or on the train on the way to the plane, like the last day, he ended up, hold on, I'm trying to see if I can get to this day, but it won't let me go to the actual day. All right, let me go to this day. Come on. This is driving me crazy. Why can't I get the whole day?
You just got to say, Minnesota is, I know they're going to lose the series, but they are beating the shit out of the Mavericks right now, just like physically beating them up. Like, if you're going to go into the next round, we're going to make sure that you guys are bruised and battered.
And beaten down?
Yep. Doncic's been on the floor 5 or 6 times already. Gobert's throwing elbows.
All right, hold on. Bear with me. This is driving me crazy that I can't find this. This is one of the funniest videos I've ever had.
Well, dude, I'd imagine it's got to be like appendicitis pain. I couldn't imagine how bad it actually gets.
The noises he make are just so good.
It's guttural noises, dude. I remember the noises I made when my appendix burst.
Oh, here we go. We're getting there. Oh, this might be it. Do I get the actual audio? Hold on, let me download it real quick. Right there. Let's do it in today. All right, hold on one sec. Pull it right here. All right, let's see if we can hear him. I think I got audio of it. I think you can hear it. It's kind of on a loud train. This is my actual favorite moment from the trip to Germany right here. So here we go. I don't know if I've ever played this before, but here it is. You all right over there?
Yeah.
Jeffrey's ate some spicy chicken wings earlier.
Yeah, my throat's paying for it.
Yeah, I can tell.
That's acid reflux.
He still managed to get that in. Been coughing near death for the past 5 minutes. Mary Elizabeth just yelled at him, said, "Don't you pass out on me." Oh, right, Mary? He said, "Don't you pass out on me." But that's how it was. But he kept going. Because he just had straight up acid. Straight up acid in his throat the whole fucking time. It was so fucking funny. So I don't know if he has an ulcer. I feel bad. B1, not B1. I'm sorry. I think B1 might have an ulcer, but I know Keely that was one of the things they diagnosed her with when she was in the hospital. She had ulcers, so I don't know. I would assume like Tyson was probably on a pretty good diet. You think maybe he changed his diet and that's what fucked up his stomach because he's like training, so it just. Do you think it's stress or what do you think caused? He's just an old fucker with a bad stomach.
Probably. I mean,
could this be?
He's in like war mode right now. I'm sure he's a little stressed out. I'm sure being in confined spaces aren't that good.
Could this be a complete?
You're not smoking no weed, not eating no mushrooms.
Fake thing, propaganda. You know what I mean? Like one of those kind of like.
Try to keep it in the news. I'm sure there's going to be something that pops up about Tyson and Jake Paul every week leading up to July 20th.
All right. Well, I can't wait.
They got to keep it relevant for as long as they can.
I can't wait to watch it. So it's relevant to me because I hope they have a news story every day about it until the day before so I don't forget.
Netflix is killing it this year.
Yeah, they got a lot going on. That roast was pretty fucking cool. And then this should be pretty neat.
And now they're going to have this fight.
Yeah, it should be good. All right, I'm gonna wrap it up here real quick. But I did tease this, or not tease. I said I got ripped off by DoorDash. Listen to the story; it's pretty quick. Actually.
Yeah.
So fucking yesterday, I'm DoorDashing, and so it's not just delivering food. Like you got to go to stores. Well, you can pick whatever you want, but I'll go shopping because a lot of times you can make extra money doing that. So I went shopping at this store, and it was like a dollar store. Picked up like about $25 worth of just, snacks or some shit. Not that much. I get to the counter. When you get there, you have to pay with this specific thing called a red card. Now my red card, I'm able to put on my phone so I can just digitally pay. So I don't have to keep whipping out my card and swiping it. So I go to do it, and it always works, no problem, unless you pull your phone away like any of those stupid tap to pay things. But if you do, it always works. It dings, I get the thing, confirm payment, or take the receipt out. And the process is once it's approved and the receipt prints out, you hit confirm payment, and then you take a picture of that receipt. All right. So DoorDash has that receipt in the system. And then it tells you after you take a picture of the receipt, discard the receipt. Do not put the receipt in the bag. The customer gets a copy of the receipt. Throw it away. Okay. So I get to the counter. I go through that whole process. When I go to do my phone, though, it keeps coming up saying insufficient funds, which is really weird. That's never happened to me before. So I call the customer and say, hey, I hate to tell you this, but this is what it's saying. And she's like, there's thousands of dollars in that account. I don't know what it could be. I don't need to transfer money into it. I don't know what's going on. So I said, all right, let me try something different. Let me try the actual hard card. Let me take it out of my wallet, swipe it, see if that works. I take it out, swipe it, it works. No problem. I go through the rest of my shift. It's kind of shitty and slow, so I end up wrapping up. And when you wrap up, immediately when you end your dash, they call it, when you end that, the money you make rolls right onto this like prepaid card you get. So it's, it's just instant pay. So I get that. And then right after I get paid, I get a transaction notification from that card. And it says $26 at Dollar General. And I was like, the fuck? I didn't buy anything at Dollar General today. I bought something at Giant Eagle when I did a run there. I bought a thing of Starbucks. I did the person's order and then I rang up mine separately. But for some reason, this was on my fucking bill or it deducted from my account. So I fucking called DoorDash and I'm like, yo, I don't know what happened. Maybe I thought for some reason that my phone might have had the other card that got dinged, my personal card instead of the red card but I looked, it's not on my phone. So, and when I use that card, say I had accidentally used the wrong card and swiped my personal card, I would have immediately got a notification on my phone. That thing, as soon as you use it, as soon as this one's actually really good. As soon as you use it, you get a notification right away. Yeah. So it's actually really good. That's why I was also confused when I got it. I'm like, I didn't use this. Why am I getting a notification for it? So I called DoorDash to tell them what's going on. And they go, okay, well, do you have a receipt for the transaction? And I said, of course I don't have a receipt.
You tell me to throw it up.
That's what I said. I go, of course not. Why would I have a receipt? And they go, well, why wouldn't you have a receipt from the transaction? And I said, because I threw the receipt away. Because the app says to discard the receipt. And they go, well, without the receipt, we're going to have to put this under review and have this checked out by a supervisor, or by not, or
Well,
just
they have
this checked out by a team,
because they can see all the transactions you did that day.
This is what I said to him. I said, ma'am, you don't need to do any of that. All you need to do is go look at whatever transactions I had today, match up the amounts, see that the amounts are the same, and then see that there were the declines, and then also see the picture of the receipt that I took. It will actually show you there. No, we don't have that. I said, what is the purpose of me taking a receipt? And when I take a picture of the receipt, it's through the app. It's not through my fucking phone. It's through the app. So I say to this person, this woman, finally she goes, yeah, it's just going to go through. You'll get an email within 24 hours. It'll go to review. And I go, okay. And I hang up and immediately call right back to talk to somebody else. I get on the phone with this person, same exact spiel, same exact thing. And I say, can I talk? I pull a Karen and I say, let me speak to your supervisor. I pull it.
Yeah.
I said, I need to talk to whoever's in charge there because somebody needs to understand that there's a flaw in the policy. And the guy kept going, well, the best I can do is try to locate. No, he starts saying to me, even if I get a supervisor, I went,
it's not your job to tell me that. It's the supervisor's job to tell me that. This is where you shut up and go get your supervisor.
And in so many words, that's what I said. So he goes, all right, let me try to get a supervisor for you. So I'm sitting on hold, and I'm thinking to myself, you know what? Fuck this. I'm just going to drive back to the fucking store and get the fucking receipt printed out. Fuck it. I don't want to do it. It's 15 minutes away, but I'm going to fucking do it anyway. So I drive back to the store. I'm on hold with DoorDash the whole time. I walk in the store with my earbud in. I go up to the register and I explain to them the situation, and they go, we can't do that. I said, what? They go, we can't go back into the computer and look up past transactions and print out the receipt. I said, what if I had an item I needed to return but lost the receipt but wanted to get proof of the purchase? You're telling me you can't do that? 3 hours later? I go, if it were tomorrow or the next day, I could understand that, but it was 3 hours ago.
You go to that drawer because it prints a store copy and a customer copy every time there's a receipt, and every credit card transaction goes under the drawer.
I don't know if it does that. I don't know if that one did that. I don't know.
Well, it used to. I mean, back in the day when I worked at retail, that's what it did.
Well, it seemed like to me that either way, like I know I've worked at restaurants and other places where if you have to reprint somebody's receipt, you do it by the last 4 digits of their card. I mean, I've done that 100 times.
Oh, yeah,
but you know what I'm saying? So I was like, dude, this is fucking bullshit. So they end up giving me the runaround. So I leave Dollar General and I tell them, I go, I don't understand. I don't think you guys are right, but I'm not going to argue with you. So I leave, and the fucking DoorDash guy still on hold. They tell me we're not able to get a supervisor today because it's the holiday, so they're going to have to call you back within 24 hours. It's been over 24 hours now. No call back from any supervisor. Nothing. So I'm pretty fucking salty about it. And I'm going to be quite honest with you. I think I'm going to be out the money. Because I think what's going to happen.
I'd be absolutely flipping the fuck out.
I was pretty pissed. I was livid on the phone. I was not friendly by any means. But I kind of caught myself getting angry and decided it would be stupid of me because I need this job. So it would be dumb. And I don't want to have to go to a real job with a boss. So I was like, I kind of bit my tongue a little bit.
The options a little bit. Yeah.
What's that?
I said get away the options a little bit. Not just guns a-blazing.
I shut up a little bit, but I do have to. I think what happened is when it declined twice. Somehow, when the red card went through the right way, it just didn't register with DoorDash somehow. So when I ended my dash, which is so fucking gay to call it that, when I ended my dash, they I think the computer automatically charged me for it because it never got paid for according to the computer system. So it just deducted it from my account.
Automatically deducted it from yours, yep.
Yeah. So I don't know, man. It was it's $25 we're talking about, but it's the principle of the whole thing. Being
It's a half
told
eighth.
I say right. Well, I said straight up to the guy, I go, listen to me. As a human being, you have to understand how ridiculous it is that you ask me for something that you've told me to throw away. And he said, yes, sir, I understand your concern and I understand your frustration. And I go, then do something about it.
Yeah, that's why you need to keep calling and asking for a supervisor for the next couple of days.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to. So,
Kill 'em
real
with
quick,
kindness.
I know I'm gonna have to schmooze somebody, hopefully. But no, I started that way. I started so
Yeah, and you gotta
schmoozy.
do that with the supervisor. You can't get angry. You got to start schmoozy with the supervisor.
All right, before we wrap, he's been hanging on. I'm gonna pick him up real quick. He already called in earlier, but I can't get enough of my fun friend, Curious George Glory.
Hey, Dom, I'll be real quick. I'm just kind of curious. You know, when you guys go to commercial breaks, you show like pictures of fans and your vasectomy shot and just all this stuff. There is a girl on there that is unbelievably hot, but they're saying it's a girl named Laura, but I don't remember Laura ever being in the chat. Is that a friend or who is that?
That's just a fan.
She's wearing another Dumb Show shirt.
Just a fan of the show. She sent a picture of her in wearing her shirt that she got. That's it.
Who's
Is her name like okay? So they're saying her name is Laura, but I swear I've never seen a Laura in the chat. But
she doesn't
okay.
go.
That's all I wanted. I was curious. She's very pretty.
Believe she's been in the chat before live. I don't think she is frequently, but I do believe I've seen her comment in the chat, George, or excuse me, on the comment section on issues. So if you you want to filter through some old episodes
I wouldn't
to
do that.
find.
I just didn't know. I didn't know if she was related some way or whatever because I never saw her in the chat. But okay, that's all. Extremely attractive. That's all. Very pretty girl. All right, I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.
All right, George, love you. He's so horny. Yeah, I love that guy.
I know he is.
I thought I'm horny, man. That guy's fucking makes me look like a fucking 95-year-old guy with no dick. So, he's a horny
It
fucker.
makes me feel like an incel.
All right. I wouldn't. George isn't an incel. He likes sex, so he just.
I said it makes me look like an incel.
No, I know. I'm just trying to think of. I was trying to think of if George would qualify as an incel, but no. I mean, he likes women. He's out trying to get women all the time.
Oh
so
yeah,
he's
he
a
still
horny
loves
guy.
women. He hasn't given up in writing manifestos yet.
So, like the guy at the he's the stapler guy in Office Space. He's that dude.
Oh yeah.
Oh, that's brutal. All right. Let's see here. Allie says, I honestly was dashing a lot in the fall. What was it? Oh shit, that's right. You want to save that? It's late. It's
yeah, we can save that.
Let's
But
save
there's
that.
not much. There's not much to talk about with it. It's just a dope movie. If you like George Miller and you like the first adaptation, definitely go see the second. It's exponentially better.
Okay. Without giving anything away, do we get a backstory about why that fucking weird guy with the mask and the long hair looks the way he does?
We do not get an origin story of him.
Fucking Christ.
It is an absolute continuation. It is a perfect prequel.
All right. Well, I have to check it out then because it's. I mean, I do love it. I love all the the visuals and the music and everything. It's fucking great. They just leave too much to the imagination, which I guess is part of the thrill of it, I guess. kind of what makes it. There's a little mystery to how these fucking people are the way they are, when it really is. I tried to go back.
Like, why is that dude got the big metal thing on his nose? Like, what's it doing to his nose? Like, does he not have a nose? Like, I'm confused. What's up with the little baby that operates everything with his little feetsies, you know?
I went down a rabbit hole about 2 weeks ago about the whole timeline regarding the Mad Max saga that started with Mel Gibson back in the 80s. Now, apparently, the original one was after a small, so you know how I say in that book I read, if there's a nuclear war, it's just over, we're done. 72 minutes, we're done. The whole human race is done. In this book, in this Mad Max timeline, it's like a couple nukes go off and it kind of fucks everything up. And they're working their way, you know, there's people who are left over, they're fighting for fuel and shit like that. But they're not to full-blown post-apocalyptic nuclear war world yet. That's what they are in Furiosa. So there's, or in, you know, whatever the last one was. That version of Max, he's much older than the Mel Gibson version. There's been bombs that have gone off. Then over time, the nuclear war exponentially grew. Most of humanity gets wiped out, and the weirdos that we see with the bubbles all over their face and all pale and shit.
Yeah, and those are all the ones, either ones that are all left.
That's who's left over. So that's kind of what the timeline I read at least explains Mad Max, because I was like, this doesn't make any fucking sense to me. Why was that original Mad Max not like this one is, if it's the same guy? Because the way the nuclear war went. So pretty interesting. All right.
Yeah, but Chris Hemsworth is a fucking god, dude. The guy's absolutely incredible.
I got to be honest with you. I feel like in the previews he looks so cheap. It sounds cheesy. His accent and everything, and I know that he's Australian. Maybe so. I just felt it looked a little.
It's his home accent.
He seemed a little.
He just his native tongue.
He just seemed a little cheesy for me. I don't know why. I don't know. There's something about the character. I don't know. It felt a little hokey to me. But
it's a George Miller movie, man. But it absolutely was dope. It's 2.5 hours of just nonstop action.
Yeah, I'm cool. Do they have a cool guitar guy again? At least
they show the guitar guy.
Okay, cool. All right, don't give me any more. That's all.
He's part of the war herd. You know what I'm saying? That this was it. I would recommend anybody going to see it. Don't watch it in reverse like I did, because I didn't really remember the first one. I mean, I've seen it a bunch of times, but it came out 11 years ago.
Yeah.
So, or whatever it was. But I watched the first one yesterday, the day after watching the second one, and it literally, where the first one ends, the second one picks up.
That's technically like the fourth or fifth.
But the second one, yeah. But I'm saying like this one, like
with Tom Hardy,
generation of it,
the Tom Hardy Mad Max generation.
This is the prequel, like where the prequel ends, the second one picks right up.
Do you see? Speaking of Tom Hardy, do you see the preview for the biker movie with him and Austin? Whatever.
Dope.
It looks pretty fucking cool, right?
Austin
That goofy
Butler.
accent.
Yeah.
That goofy accent that Tom Hardy's using.
There was just a teaser. George Clooney's back on the big screen with Brad Pitt in a movie called Wolves.
Oh, really? I'll check that out. I like those two.
It's just a scene of them. It says the trailer drops tomorrow. The teaser was just both of them sitting in a car looking angry. That was pretty much it.
Yeah, I was a nerd for those. I liked those Ocean's 11 movies or the Ocean's movies with those dudes. Those are great. So
they had all-star casts.
Real quick, Laura popped up in the chat. She said, "I'm famous," and laughed and said, "At Curious George." So Laura's in there getting George all worked up. So happy to see you there, Laura. That's too funny. You made his night. All right, Mikey.
Absolutely did.
I think that's all she wrote for us tonight. I have a baseball game tomorrow night for my son that I'm going to be at. So we'll be going Thursday night. We'll be back live on Thursday. I have an event on Saturday. I have most of it all kind of pulled already, a lot of the music actually. And there's a lot of kind of unique music. So it's not, they have a lot of must plays. They're kind of unique stuff. There's some names in there. I have a feeling maybe there's family member might be African.
Okay.
Yeah, there's kind of like a couple African names in there. So, and I don't mean like African American. I mean like literally like some, not weird, but just like a lot of vowels and a lot of
Yeah,
Y's.
just different.
So
I'll get to talk about Eminem's new album on Friday. It
is
drops on
that
Friday. I can't wait.
when's that come
The
out?
Death of Slim Shady.
On
Friday
Friday?
night or Thursday night at midnight.
Oh, okay, cool. Well, then I'll probably end up listening to that most of the day on Friday morning, so we'll be able to talk about it. Yeah, we'll see how I feel.
Music. Can't wait.
We'll see how I feel Friday. If I'm up for doing a show, if I have all my stuff done, then we should be able to do one. But either way, be back live on Thursday. Mikey, love you, bro. Hope you have a good rest of your night.
You too, buddy.
Later, dudes. All right, guys, that's going to wrap things up for us tonight. Thanks to everybody who came and hung out. I appreciate you guys all so much. If you've not hit the thumbs up on tonight's video, I've been looking at how many people are watching, how many likes we got. We need more likes. If you're watching the show, do me just quick solid. Hit that thumbs up for it, brother. And then I think that's going to wrap things up. Like I said, we'll be back here live on Thursday. Shay has a baseball game tomorrow. Guys, if you could just do me one little solid, let's get some thoughts and prayers for Darla Beans. My little whoppers. I don't even know if she's down there. She's there. Yep, there she is. Look at that poor puppy. I know I took her to the parade the other day, and my little whoppers, she really got remember, don't forget, she got hit by a car. And she did probably the most walking she's done since she got hit by the car the other day. She's been on plenty of walks around here, but the walk she had to do was pretty considerable distance, and there was a pretty big hill that she had to walk up. And this poor puppy, she's been so sore for the past couple days. I feel so bad for her. She can barely jump up onto the couch. She needs help getting in and out of, like, she's got these little stairs that I got for her to climb up and down to get in and out of my bed, and she can barely get up and down those stairs. So thoughts and prayers for my little Beanerina. My little pup. Oh, it was a big sigh from the pup. Hey, baby girl. You so sore. Hey, whoppers. Beanerina. Anyway, see, look how tired she is. So she's on like the third day of a hard workout. You ever get a really good leg workout in that, like 2-3 days later, your legs are just still 1,000 pounds and you are miserable all the time. You can't even walk up steps or get out of a couch or something like that. That's how she is right now. She's just miserable. So thoughts and prayers for my Beanerina. She's fine. She's nothing wrong with her. She's just sore. So, alrighty, guys, that's going to wrap things up. I am out of here. See ya.